Hello everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas update video. I would like to thank Bradford Ferguson of Halter Ferguson Financial and all of my patrons for your outstanding support. It really does help make these videos possible. In my previous video, I was fortunate enough to be able to get some nice close-ups of the columns and beams being installed south of the big pit. As you can see in the left picture, I was able to get close enough to see how the hardware, the rebars, and the cabling through the beams are made. And in addition, we saw these double T prefab concrete sections being delivered. So I thought we would talk a little bit about how all these work together and what we're going to be seeing. Thanks to one of my patrons, Tracy Bailey, we know that the beams are pre-stressed concrete beams. And as you can see in that little inset, there's rebar sticking out the top and cabling, or tendons, as they're called, on the bottom. And what this does is when the load is applied to these beams, that puts the top into compression and the bottom into tension, which greatly strengthens and makes it more durable. So let's talk a little bit about pre-stressed beam discussion. In the left, you can see this image, and if you look closely, the beam is actually slightly bent upward. In this illustration, I've exaggerated that bend so you can kind of see it, but it is definitely there. So why would that be? Well, when a beam is stressed, if it is not reinforced, then it tends to deflect downward, and that invites undesirable dimensional and also stresses into the beam. So to counter that, some tendons are put through the beam, and then they're pre-stressed at the factory, very similar to what you would see in this inset image. You can see how the steel bars or the tendons are pulled tightly as the concrete is made. What this does is it forces the beam to actually bend slightly upward. It pre-stresses that, so when loads are applied, again, it puts that compression and tension into that beam, making it stronger. So I hope this discussion is very helpful and understand a little bit about what we're seeing with those beams and how the compression and tension is working with the pre-stressed beam. So that brings up to one other question I noticed when I got the close-up is, what are these hooks or loops that are on top of the beam, and what does this tell us about the construction? Well, one of the viewers, Desi Doolin, identified these loops as shear connection for additional concrete that will be poured, and they'll be poured on top of the precast panels, otherwise those the double T concrete slabs that I showed you, and you can see in the inset. So let's take a look at how this might look when they install it. So you can see here the double T pre-slab forms would be put on top of the beam, probably going from the north-south orientation, and they would just sort of stack together. If you were underneath and you looked up, you would see something like this when they are installed. And then after they're installed, they would come back and pour concrete on top, and this was probably how the finished look will appear when the construction is completed. So anyway, I hope that you found this information useful, and as we continue to see the construction progress, hopefully this will let you understand what we're expecting. So I want to say thank you to viewers like Desi and my patrons like Tracy. Thank you very much for all your help and information. It's outstanding. So thank you. Yesterday was a very stormy and rainy day, but it looks like things are drying up today. So this gives us a chance to take the drone and look around some of the areas that we haven't seen for a while. As you can see, the weather was pretty good, although the winds were starting to pick up while I was there. But otherwise, things are starting to dry out. We look really quickly at the footings on the west side of the foundation, and then we take a quick trip to the far southwest area just to see how that land clearing is going. Really not a whole lot, but we do take a quick look at that. Then we come back and take a look at the big pit area where all the columns, the beams, and so forth that we discussed earlier are, and see what changes may be today. We look at the east switchyard area just to see how that preparation is going. And then we take a quick trip up to the old plant. Notice that there's some more demolition that has happened in the last 24 hours, and we're just looking to see what else is going on at that facility. The zippered foundation still looks like it's been prepared for additional construction, maybe starting tomorrow, which is great. And then we take some up-close views of the steel structure, and we can just see what's preparing for tomorrow. So anyway, weather cooperated today. These are the areas that we went and looked at, so hopefully you found this useful. Okay, my drones are fully charged and they are ready. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas.